I think it's a sin to bore kids with the Bible. The Bible's so exciting. I want to talk to you about how to do that. I'm Dr. Scott Taransky, and maybe you'd like my free ebook called Equipping Children to Self-Regulate Emotions, found at biblicalparenting.org. Let's talk about how we make the Bible exciting, because the Bible really is an exciting book. It's not just a book, it's God's Word being transferred to us. And we have stories all throughout the Bible. There's probably 200 Bible stories that children can learn. Each one has a lesson to it. But how we teach that to children is important. I think we follow the pattern that Jesus had. You remember when he was here on earth, he would tell parables and he would talk about the faith while he was walking around with people. And then he also used the disciples in ministry, and he had them feeding the 5,000. He didn't have to do that. He could have just said, everybody move out of the way. I'm going to have manna drop from heaven like I did in the Old Testament. But he uses the disciples. I think our kids can be used in ministry. They don't become Christians when they get older or part of the church when they get older. Right now is the opportunity for us to work with them and help them to grow and develop. So let's look for ways that we can involve them in ministry. But one of the greatest ways that we can have devotions with kids that'll empower them is to use activity. Activity is the language of children and youth. And when you use that language, the ideas come alive in a child's mind. I remember when I was 4 years old, my dad was having devotions with us that night, and we were learning about Jesus being the light of the world. And we had devotions in the dark, in the closet, with a flashlight. I still remember my dad saying, this is Jesus, he's shining the flashlight, and we're like mirrors shining, reflecting his light. Whenever someone talks now about Jesus being the light of the world, I think back on that experience. There's so many ways that we can be creative as we're talking to our children and helping them understand theological truth or recognize the power of Bible stories. Every Bible story has a lesson. So when we're done, we ask the question, what's the lesson learned here? By asking that question, it helps the Bible step out of the pages and become relevant to children. The Bible is relevant, but sometimes children don't see that. We're learning how we can apply God's word to our hearts, and children can learn that now at whatever age they're at. So take time to make the devotions time in your home exciting, and kids will love it and they'll fall in love with God's word.